You have a disclaimer.
Oh yeah, Amanda and I are high functioning ADHD, so I just want everyone to know that we will jump from 5 to 10 subjects at a time. We might only circle back to 2 and finish it.
Yeah.
If anybody can put this puzzle at the end of this pod together, like I will offer you a free pet care service.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk in My Rooms. I have a very special guest today, my beautiful friend Becca, who is the founder of Believe Pet Care. Becca, can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, my name is Rebecca. I have a company called Believe Pet Care, and we do dog walks and overnights, visits, play dates, transports. We even fly dogs. I've done that.
You fly dogs?
Yes. Cookie.
Aww.
Cookie, who's the godmother who started it
What
all
is
off.
that
Dog.
like? What do you go on a plane?
Yeah, so they have to be under 20 pounds, and then they get their own little carrier. Every time I flew Cookie, it was JetBlue, which, fun fact, they give you wings. Like cute little wings for the dog. But sometimes if you have a really cool flight attendant, they even let you take the dog on the lap. So as long as the dog's not like crazy, which most of the time they're not. But it's super easy. The carriage has to fit underneath the seat. But it's pretty simple. Like, you have to buy a ticket for them.
So do you go on vacation with the family, or you're just literally flying the dog there and you're coming back?
These are people who are snowbirds, and then they'll have their stuff, like, taken down to Florida, and then they'll have, like, their dog transported.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So I actually met Becca back in, was it Eat Clean Bro first? Is that how I met you?
Yeah, so funny thing about you too was I feel like through 6 degrees of separation, like I've always known you.
Right?
And then you would be at like social events. I think because when I worked for Jersey Strong as a trainer and then Eat Clean Bro.
Yes.
But Amanda's one of these people that when she's in the room, like you don't have to know her, but she totally makes you feel comfortable.
Aw.
So she gives out the friend vibe even from across the room, which I think that's probably what drew me to you.
Aw,
As a
I love
person.
you.
Yeah, no, I love you too. Amanda's like one of the best people to have in your life. Everybody needs a little Amanda.
Becca and we've come such a long way since I met you.
Yes, I love that we've been growing
so much
in so many different facets of our lives together.
From like our mindset to our businesses to everything. Because again, when I first knew you, you were doing training.
I was doing training for 10 years. So I was like in the dental field, and I was in like working for the same guy for like 15 years. And then I started doing all these personal training classes, and I realized I actually like to learn. I
do like to learn.
I hated high school so much, and then all of a sudden in my adult life, I've become like a complete science geek.
But that's because it's like you find this stuff interesting,
I wanted
and
to
it's
do.
like you want to do. You're not being forced to do like algebra or history, stuff that you don't really care about.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a point of algebra, but I'm still waiting.
I'm still waiting for the Pythagorean theorem. Is that how you say it?
I'm 49 with the Pythagoras theorem.
See, exactly. And I just want to make one point too to all the teachers who told me I would never have a calculator in my pocket. We got the calculator in our pocket.
We got it. We got the calculator.
So we're good. We have our calculators here, but
geometry, like, listen, honestly, every time you move a couch, like when we were just moving the lights and you're like pivot, like that's geometry. So yeah.
So see, some stuff you do know.
Some stuff we need. Some stuff is foundation. Where were we? How did we even get to this?
You gotta make a disclaimer.
I hated high school. Now I was studying all that stuff. So I left the dental office and I became a trainer. I was a trainer for like 10 years. And then I was like a super science geek, and like I probably took, when you get certifications, you have to do these continuing education courses.
Yeah.
But you have to do like 2.0 credits a year, or like every 2 years or something.
Yeah.
And I would do like 20. So I would like go to all these
A++.
courses. But the reason that I'm even glad that I had that part of my life, and then I ended up actually in the middle of a training session, so a lady wanted to go to Borgata in Atlantic City for the weekend. Her dog was older. Her dog took like chemo pills like every other day. She's like, I can't board this dog. She's like, would you watch my dog? Because I grew up with pets my whole life. I had farm animals. I was like in 4-H. So she was like, would you watch the dog? And that's literally how the business started. And then it became like word of mouth.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like, how did you grow it to where you're at today? Because you're a booked in busy girl.
That was like my first client, and then ironically, like somebody else from the gym like found out it it was like word of mouth through the gym. And honestly, I'd like to give a shout out to Julie Roth, who lives in Cold Snack and probably is the reason I have 80% of my clients in Cold Snack. That girl is like Amanda. She is a cheerleader. So I really appreciate, she really helped me grow my business in the beginning. And then it became like word of mouth, like clients would tell other clients, which I kind of even like because then, you know, like you're not paying for advertising.
Yeah.
But the word of mouth is the best compliment, I feel like.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
That's a testament to the character and the type of service that you're giving somebody.
1,000%.
Which at the end of the day, because even if I'm staying at the house overnight while they're on vacation, or if I'm in and out of your house on a daily or weekly basis, at the end of the day, I'm going in your house.
I know.
So I have some type of something. I have a key. I have a code. Like people, you know what I mean? Like need to trust the person that's in their house.
And you're taking care of their baby.
Yes, exactly. And like people have cameras everywhere. So that's even sometimes why like I don't understand why like people will pull things like inside or out, like even delivery guys. It's like you do know everybody has a ring doorbell, right? Like
the ring, like they see
everybody,
you.
like literally everybody.
Like if the house that you're at doesn't have it, the house next door or even across the street, someone has it. And they're getting you.
Yes, they are. So I forget a lot of the times because some people will even have cameras set up in their house, obviously like to watch the dogs while they're at work. Yeah, but then there I am making up like silly songs to the dog. Like I walk in and I'm like, Tinkerbell. Oh. Yeah, like the lady.
They probably appreciate that. And definitely give them a good laugh though.
Had a whole 3 verses today. Didn't realize the lady was actually working from home.
No.
So that was pretty cool.
Did you come out?
Yeah. She was just like, hi. I was like, cool. Well, now you know.
Well, this is me.
Yeah.
This is what we do. You just start the walks with songs. So
it's just me, the dogs, we're on walks, and I'm in my car listening to podcasts all day long. So I mean,
who's your favorite podcast?
I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan because he has science guys on, so I get to do that. But also like the comedians are silly, and then ironically, it's really crazy how like people that you would never even think would be like so versed in a different subject. Like the comedian Dave Smith is like insane knowledge of the Middle East. So every time he comes on, they're always talking about everything that go on. And I have learned so much, like going back in history about just what's going on in that region, which is so confusing on any level because there's so much. There's so much. But I'm also like obsessed now with like history.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I'm really into period timepieces. I don't know if it's something when you're mid-40s, you're like, you get a garden. You're into period timepieces. Like I'm watching The Serpent Queen. Love it. It's about Catherine de Medici. Super cool. A little bit of the Queen of England in there. Yep.
How many dogs do you, in the summer? Summer's your like busiest time.
Summer's my busiest season.
Can you give a number? Like how many different dogs do you see all summer?
Well, just to like give an example, I had overnights because everybody was on vacation. They started like June, like early this year, June 8th. And then I literally, the first time I slept in like my bed again was August 22nd.
Yeah, so see, like you have...
Sometimes I go home in the middle of the day for 30 minutes just to lay in my Tempur-Pedic bed.
Yeah, because you're going from morning literally till night.
Yeah, summers are hard. Summers are like 6 in the morning to like 9, 10 at night. But I mean, I love the outdoors. I grew up Gen X, so I played outside all the time.
Getting your steps in,
getting my steps in, getting my vitamin D for free.
Your hot girl walks.
You know what I mean? I'm listening to my frequency music in the car to like get in tune with my body.
You have a disclaimer.
Oh yeah, Amanda and I are high functioning ADHD, so I just want everyone to know that we will jump from 5 to 10 subjects at a time. We might only circle back to 2 and finish it. Yeah. If anybody can put this puzzle at the end of this pod together, like I will offer you a free pet care service. I'll offer you a free walk.
Only if you're in Mama.
It's the Matrix over here. I mean, we went from nutrition to...
We're about to go into meditation and all that now because she said something that got me the birds.
The birds. You have to do your early morning sun in the morning. So that's even the thing with the summer as far as me even working all those hours. Like in reality, like I have a husband that gets up at like 3:30 in the morning for work. Wow. So I am up and ready to go anyway at like 5. Wow. So I'm like doing all my things in the morning. I'm getting my morning sun.
You have like a little morning routine that you do?
I do.
Tell us.
I do my little lemon and ginger. I'm drinking that in the morning.
What's that good for? And like, how does that help you?
That is literally going to like flush your livers and your kidneys out. And then ginger is really good for your digestion. So I also feel like it makes your stomach lighter too, which is never bad. But so at nighttime, your body literally is like when you're in sleep, but you have to be in REM sleep. Once you're in REM sleep, then it's like, think of like the house cleaning crew that comes to your house, and they're like literally cleaning out all your internal organs. And then in the morning, when you relieve yourself from the front and the back, it's literally getting rid of the pile of crap that they just flushed out of your system. So the lemon and the ginger helps kind of double flush.
Wow. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to double flush.
Oh my God.
It's never bad. Well, also too, the food that we're eating is literally chemicals. So I feel like
you want to get rid of it.
Everybody's kidney and liver needs a double flush, even if you're getting good vegetables. You start to really wonder exactly where they were sourced from.
This is back to the parasite cleanse. We
will
be doing that.
We're doing a parasite cleanse. That's our next thing.
Yeah, we have that coming up on the next full moon in September. So, which is I think like a week or two. Are you ready for that?
The parasite cleanse or the moon? I feel like there's like 75 moons and 60 solar eclipses and like 3 retrogrades in September.
Probably.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, there was just
on.
a new moon.
Yes.
And then yesterday was 9/9.
Yes.
And then I think I want to say it's like September 20th is the full moon.
I feel like there's something going on in the 18th too.
There's a lot of things going on, but this
planets are really partying up in 2024.
Yeah, and it's so interesting when you start to actually like study and like look into that realm of things.
I follow this girl on Instagram. She's literally like breaking down like all these things for like the whole fall season. And so she was like, Taurus, she's like, this is your season where you're done and you've made decisions. So I'm like, cool, I have.
Come on, yeah.
And she was like, you're not taking it anymore in this season, you're just telling people no. And I was like, I'm already so sassy.
And you're like,
I'm like, why would you do
well, welcome to the whirlwind of what, what fall is going to be for the Taurus.
I just feel like I've been good on no. But I guess I need to work on no without the explanation, which is very hard as a person, I feel like sometimes. Depending on who you're dealing with.
You're working on it. We all work on it. We're always a work in progress. And I feel like that's like the beautiful thing of life is because like there's always something that we could be doing to be learning.
Or more efficient.
Or growing or working better on ourselves. You know what I mean? We talk about this a lot though.
Yes, we do. I feel like that's the main thing we do. As a business owner and even getting started, I am so grateful not just for the people that it organically started from and how they recommended me, but at the end of the day, was very lucky that I even knew people like, shout out to Nicole, who owns the Girls Night Out.
Yeah, the committee.
GNO, the committee. So I happen to know her even from working at the gym, and like we were friends already, and then I think I was even watching her dog maybe already, but she started that as a new business owner because like I did not know what I was doing at all.
Yeah, you're just
even in the beginning it was so tragic. Like I thought I was doing the right thing by getting a lawyer to get my LLC. Like he put it in his name. Had to have a new like company name. Realized we can just do this in Zoom in 5 minutes. Like, hey lawyer, can you get me a refund? That'd be great. Thanks for your help, but not. So like that was fun. Like I think I hired like 2 people who like completely messed up my website, didn't do my website, took money from my website. Like there was that you're the one that saved me and finally did it. 3rd time was a charm with Amanda. At least she's dependable. High five and amazing. Everything she does is amazing. Like you've saved my butt so many times, but I was lucky somehow that like the universe literally gave me everything I needed when I needed it.
Yeah, timing's everything.
And I got lucky that I was, already networking or had this community at the gym, and then you start meeting all these people and like everybody's starting businesses, and then like you're gravitating toward that, and then you're having conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm really lucky too, like being friends with you because like there's so many different facets I feel like to our relationship. Yeah. So like that's probably why like so like all over the place. It's like, oh my God, personal life. Oh my God, wait, what about this for business? I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, yeah. And then like, what about that conversation? Yeah. So it's all over the place, but I feel like it all makes sense.
It does. We literally talk about everything. It's like family, so that is, business,
family,
mindset, everything.
Everything. But I feel that it's super healthy to have people that are in the industry. Like that definitely helps because then you can like really get a basis for like an understanding if you don't understand something. Like even simple stuff like, well, go to like this bank, like they'll have the best percentages for like a
Right.
small business, like the networking altogether. Even with the committee, when you go to that, there's so many women with so many different genres of different, things that they're doing
Yeah.
and the companies that they own. You know what I mean? So it's
true.
like,
We're all
my husband and I need to like redo our portfolios, and I literally already know like I need to talk to Miriam. You know what I
See?
mean? Like,
Look
because
at
I've already
you.
made that connection. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool when you do like, it's not like when you're a business owner, you have to like get into like some type of group, but like it's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad
A
idea.
lot of towns have them. A lot of counties have them. It doesn't have to be like a girls thing, but you know what I mean? But networking with people in your area, like
that's so
definitely
huge.
helps. Like
It is.
I even have clients that are real estate agents in the area, and then because like they have a real estate company, they're literally like telling their people because I take care of their dogs. Like, oh my God, are you new to the area? Like, she's a great dog walker.
Exactly.
And that's not because I'm asking them to.
Right, they're doing it on their own. So it's so important that you also like it falls on you too. Like you have to be a good, genuine person. What's meant for you will always find you. What's meant for you to teach you something will also find you because we all have to learn things too.
Like, I even feel like sometimes in business, like not every client's for you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like that can be like,
Hard.
yeah, well, it's tricky, but like sometimes like, and like from my perspective, like I always like to do a meet and greet like before I start any service. And I do that from a lot of different angles. Like, you know what I mean? Like you may not like me.
Right.
Like it might not be a good mesh here. Like
Yeah.
I might see some little signs like psychologically that your dog is like pulling off between like, how his ears are moving or how he's like snarling. And that's not a no. That's just like, let me come back again and see if the dog's going to be more comfortable. But that's why I even have like a whole list of things.
And
Like,
that's
does your
so
dog have a
smart.
bite history? You know what I mean? Like, but sometimes I'll even say no to clients. It's like not a good fit because like, dude, your gate's broken.
Right. You don't want to be responsible if God forbid something.
Your slider doesn't work. I don't want to lose a dog.
Right.
And if I'm staying in your house, I don't,
You want to be safe.
want unfamiliar guests
Of course.
that were uninvited.
That
So there's a lot of
Unfamiliar
different
guests.
factors, even so not everybody's for you, but sometimes even there's personality conflicts.
right.
Like in life.
Exactly.
There's
So
people
being able
you've
to navigate
dated
that.
where it hasn't worked out. Like there's people
Right.
you're going to deal with in business.
It's learning how to navigate it.
Which is hard sometimes because I feel like I was more, before Mila, of a people pleaser. And then I also realized, like, what are you doing?
There has to become a time too where you also put yourself first.
Yes, and that will help you with your work-life, like, balance, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
Because then, like, even if you're not really giving your actual energy into doing work, sometimes you're mentally giving your energy into spinning your
Thinking.
tails on some bullshit.
What's
and at
next?
and at the end of the day, where are you going if you're spinning?
Right. You need that time to just
You're
like
going,
shut
you're
off.
getting busy. You're not.
So you do. You need to have the boundaries, and like you
Yes.
said, finding clients too. It is super important to make sure that you're both a really good fit.
Every September 1st, I come up with like new policies. Like I'm saying that for lack of a better term, but it's
Every
just
September 1st, every
Yes.
fall,
because
time for change.
yes, number one. But I just went through the whole summer where literally anything can happen. Like I can have 5 families away at one time, and then some crazy stuff will happen, and could rearrange your day or
There's some
this and that, or like somebody's under construction and there was a car accident, and now you're like 45 minutes behind. But I've even realized over the last like 5 to 8 years when I've really been doing this like full time, like every year, September 1st, I have like new policies because I realized like I can't be at the reservoir in Colts Neck, which is like Brookdale, and in like Manalapan up by Nob Hill in the same day. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
That's so much traveling. That's a 45-minute trip. That's if nothing goes wrong. That's if every dog does what they're supposed to in the 30-minute span of the, And then I also feel like when you're rushing like that, then it comes from a place of anxiety.
Yeah.
And then when it comes from a place of anxiety, that's fear-based. There's nothing good in my life I've ever done out of fear.
Yeah.
They've been bad decisions. They've been bad choices.
And
then
then
I
that
feel like
energy
the
goes to the
quality.
dogs.
The stress goes to the dogs. The quality of your work is going downhill. You're speeding for, you know what I mean? And everybody else is doing that. You don't have to be involved in that. We have enough people doing that. So I just feel like it's easier to, so like, 1 year I was literally like, hey, I'm not going to do this area anymore because it's too far from everywhere else. Or, hey, I have like actual work hours. Like,
I love that. You keep growing and expanding.
Yeah, this is the first year I actually have work hours.
So with all the things that you've learned, and what do you do to take the time to sit and like, okay, this is the new rules. Like, where do you do you take notes throughout the summer?
I feel like it happens like so organically. And the girl that you just had on from Kate's Crew, like I felt in my soul when she had even said like, sometimes you just get to a point and you're like, what the F? Or like, what the F am I doing? You know what I mean? And you get to that point where you're just like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And you're like, I am not doing that again. You're like, that is wild. You know what I mean? And you end up angry at yourself. And it's really just because you haven't created boundaries. And that's what I was even saying before. Like, you can't be mad at the client. Like, they're just doing the best they can for themselves.
Right.
But we're all out here doing the best we can for themselves. And like this, being angry at a situation, if you don't like the situation, then change it. If someone's going too slow in the left lane, just go in the right lane, go around them.
Yeah.
Like, you have to stay there.
Yeah.
So I realized, like, I'm not angry at anybody. I'm angry at myself because I'm not making the changes.
Yeah.
And so the boundaries, like, that's every year but it's the summer makes me decide every single time because that's my busiest season. And that's when, like, I'm working at, like, full go focus. So, like, then you start to really see when you push too much groceries in the car and the wheel doesn't work right. When you put a lot of groceries in that cart, it's hard to push.
It's hard to push, yeah.
And during the summer, it's not hard to push. So that's when I realized, like, this isn't even worth pushing.
Yeah.
It's like when you move and you have the shittiest piece of furniture and you moved it to your new apartment.
I love it.
Why?
But, like, you're learning. And, like, every year you learn new things and you grow. And, like, I feel something that separates you, too, is that the boundaries, I guess, and, like, the rules and what, like, your terms are very beneficial for not just you, but for your client and for their dog. Like, the way you do things, you're looking out for everybody in the situation. Because you're like, listen, if I know I can't make it from Colts Neck to Manalapan, is that you could easily make X, Y, Z if you say yes to it. But then you're only hurting everybody in the situation because you know realistically I can't get from here to here. If I do, something bad can happen along the way. So you're like really looking out for everybody.
I felt so bad when I had to like give up this chunk of territory too, and I like literally personally called because I was like, this is not personal. You know what I'm saying? Like at all. I'm like, it's just so far. And I said, and at the end of the day, like the quality of care is going to go down for everybody, your dog included, and like that's not fair to anybody. And at the end of the day, too, like, that distance, just from, like, a profit margin, like, spreadsheet, like, that was
not making sense.
Just wear and tear in my car, I guess.
Right. So you're like, this isn't...
If I
learn.
Yeah, like, when I'm going, like, and I'm just using those two positions because they are far apart and, like, for people to know the area, not that I do or don't do any of those areas, but because it's a far space. But it's like, so if you go there, like you're literally just giving the guys at Shell and Manalapan money for a brake job and tires and oil change more often.
Shout out to Shell and Manalapan. I'm just kidding.
Shout out to Shell and Manalapan. I'm going scorner. They're very honest.
See, but like these are all things that you've learned over the years of doing this.
Yeah, so it's definitely trial and error. Which, I mean, you don't know until you do it. So also don't get mad at yourself when you're like, what? So I have done that where I'm like, what am I? I've gone home to my husband and be like, what am I even doing? Why am I doing this?
Who am I? Why am I here?
Yeah, like literally like existential crisis mode. You know what I mean? And then I realized the next morning that like if you don't know what you're doing, then figure out what you want to do.
Right.
And if you don't want to do this, then don't. Like, just don't do it then. Like, it's not serving anybody.
Yeah.
If I'm annoyed that I have to go do something, you know what I mean? Like, then that energy comes with you. Like,
again, and it's a trickle down. It's going. So when you're driving that's to the client, to everything.
I don't want to do anything anymore that doesn't make me feel good about myself or the people around me. So if I'm going to be someplace, I want to be around people that want to participate in a healthy fashion.
Yeah.
And I want to participate as
well.
And
you've built that over the past couple of years, too. It's a lot of work. and it was a lot. I mean, me coming, like, seeing it as your friend, like, that's what you have been doing. I feel like you're in, like, such a good place now, but it took you that time to get to that. With clients, with everything.
Don't even know if it's like a 40s thing, or because I feel like you guys are smarter, like your age sets. Like, I guess you're getting it sooner, you know, like generation to generation. Like, I even see my husband's stepson, he's 18, and I'm like, this kid can get more than I did ever at 18 years old. Like,
you're like, you know, kid, you're gonna thrive.
Yeah, it's like literally though, he's like exponentially ahead in the thought process. So, I mean, you do get to a point in life though where you're just like, what am I doing? You know, like in every facet of your life. I also feel like in the last like 10, like 5 to 7 years, like if your brain is a garden, like I've been pairing the flowers better because they work with each other, and I've been weeding. I've been doing a lot of weeding. You do get to a point in your life in every facet where you just get so sick of the crap, and you're like, what am I doing? That you don't want to do it anymore, and then you just start. Sometimes you have to pull everything out of the garden and start over. I've done that twice already.
I like that analogy, though.
I've done that twice already.
And how do you feel?
Better each time, because I feel like it's a whole different part of me. You know what I mean? And then you're learning new stuff, even about yourself.
But like, it's just also, it's not easy.
No,
it's not an easy thing.
Owning a business will make you cry.
Owning a business and really diving into you, like who you are as a person, and like finding these things that trigger you, and like breaking generational trauma patterns, all the things. Like when you really put in that time for yourself, and also you're running a business at the same time.
Owning a business, I feel like, will teach you some shit you maybe didn't even want to explore about yourself. And I'm saying that in the best and healthiest way. Like, cathartically, I have peeled off a bunch of the onion on me, but I also feel like those leaves are old. You know what I mean? Like, what was I doing? It's like every once in a while when your hair gets too long, it gets split ends. That's why we cut them off.
Right.
Like, then it's just sagging energy.
Yeah. You gotta
Nobody wants saggy anything.
Trim away the fat.
Trim away the fat. Weed the garden. You got to get rid of it, like, constantly. And then every time that you think it works, and there's like a new life situation. So like, I had my business and I thought I was doing amazing. I was killing it. And then I got married later in life for the first time. And then I had to figure out how to be married when I was like single. Yeah. Independent, strong woman forever. And I was like, I don't need any help. I can do it myself. Yeah. Like, that was my vibe. And then you get married and then you're like, oh, you have to figure it out. But I thought I had it all figured out with my business, and I was like, now I have to figure out married life. And he had a 15-year-old boy. Yeah. And we got married, and then I had to figure out how to be like a stepmom for a teenager. So I feel like there was a lot of figuring out, but
newness,
but such goodness, because even having my stepson around has really made me realize, and just like my business, like, makes me see parts of me that, like, oh, like, that has to be fixed. Yeah. Yeah, so I just laugh now. I laugh at before I was married that
you thought you had it all.
I got to therapy, and I, like, was doing the things, and, like, going to my hot yoga classes. Yeah. Like, I got it all figured out. And then God laughed, and he was like, we're going to up the ante. But it's funny because it's like, I feel like God laughed because he was like, you're not done. Yeah, that's what it's like, one step.
But that's what I love about life, though, is that's it. It's like
God really doesn't give you any more than you can do at one time.
Yeah, I have a heartbeat on the back of my neck, and the reason why I got it is because in life you have your ups and downs. If life was just great all the time or bad all the time, it's just a straight line. And what does a straight line mean? It means you're dead. So heartbeat, ups and downs in life, it just keeps going. And I love that. And I think that's just like the fun, it makes life fun. Like, you have your business, you're like, yes, it's good. Figured it all out. Now imagine if that was it and you figured it all out.
Yeah, but then how fucking boring.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Then you're what? You're like, okay, so now what? Literally. Like, you want something that's next. Like,
even when stuff is really hard and it seems overwhelming, just think, problem solving is stopping dementia.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'm sure you know people. I know some people who are close who are dealing with dementia, and it's like, it's so sad to see them like that. But again, it's like, and I know it's probably different if people, like, there's other factors that come into play. But I do know that using your mind and like always using it, like when you retire, I feel like a hobby. Keep doing things, because when you're not doing things, same thing with your body. if you're just sitting there all the time and you're just vegging out on the couch, you're not using your muscles. Like you're not able to like,
death.
and it's killing you. So to constantly be able to keep moving and keeping your body moving and your mind good, it's so important.
When I was in the fitness industry, I actually took the certification to do training for Parkinson's people. And Parkinson's and dementia training is really a lot of the same thought process. So what I thought was so interesting is like the exercises that they're having these people do are literally like you're going to use your left arm hands, you're going to use your right leg. Because then you're lighting up two different parts of your brain. So, like, it's trying to
get them,
you know what I mean, connect and refire. But at least, you know what I mean? Like, you're moving both sides of your body at the same time. So, I thought that was, like, super interesting.
That is.
So, even walking, right? We're still doing that. You're still moving two sides at the same time. I mean, even for myself, like, I keep telling myself, because especially during the summer, I'm walking, like, 10 miles
like,
a day. So, I mean, I'm literally... feel like, okay, at least I'm still going to have a break. But that's also why I'm like listening to podcasts and I'm like constantly trying to feed my brain and learn. Also, I feel like you have to have a PhD to even go to the grocery store for your family nowadays because everything is...
Oh, there's this really cool app.
Everything is poison.
So,
and when you learn the names of poison, they change the names.
There's this app called...
which is so frustrating.
Yuka, Y-U-K-A. I'll put it in the description. But you scan your food and it tells you if it's bad or not. So for example, I was at Trader Joe's the other day and I wanted to like kind of see what it was. So we scanned the granola bars and I got 9 out of 100 rating, which is bad.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's bad, it breaks it down. So some things like, so for example, I scanned my coconut oil and it rated it bad or like not good. And the reason for that was because it was high in fat and something else.
Yeah,
it wasn't in
oil,
calories.
Yeah.
However, it's not
coconut oil MCT is like one of the best fats.
Exactly. So it's not taking that into consideration. So but it didn't say it had additives and didn't say it had chemicals or anything like that. So that's the cool thing about this app is that, and this is not sponsored by no means because I wish it was, but it's not. It tells you why it's bad. So like having high calories, it's good to know just if you're, no one's eating spoonfuls of coconut oil, but that's not bad. There's no chemicals in it. For example, it has 3 additives in it, one of them which are hazardous, 2 that are limited risk.
Will they actually tell you
and
the name of
one
what's
that's
hazardous?
Yeah, so it says the hazardous one is tricalcium phosphate. And then it goes into saying it slows down the oxidation of food, and then phosphates contain phosphorus, a chemical element that is essential to the body. Excess phosphorus can disrupt bone mineralization, damage the kidneys, and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and breast cancer. The EFSA has indicated that phosphorus consumption exceeds the safe level of intake for part of the population. So this is one of the additives that are in this product. So this is a cool app if you're trying to be a little bit more cautious and aware of like what you're putting in your body.
I love when they try to tell you it's safe, but like then that's like safe levels in that product, and like every single product has it.
But it's so they're saying that it's not safe. Like they're rating it bad. But then there's then you can scan things like, here's another one, instant cold brew coffee from Trader Joe's, got 50 out of 100, got a good rating. The only bad negative was it was too caloric, 15 calories.
I switched our coffee to, since we're talking about that, I switched our coffee to the bulletproof coffee because it's like doesn't have any GMO. Like,
is that a mushroom coffee or no?
No, but I add a scoop of that because listen, I'm a crackhead and I can't get off coffee. I literally love it. We were drinking Cafe Bustelo, like complete crackheads, and it's there's a lot of pesticides in that, and I was even doing tap water because that was wild. And
wow, you were really living on the edge.
It's disgusting. So we have switched in the last few months. We do the bulletproof coffee because it's mold free and it's pesticide free. I also got this thing. It's literally called The Water Machine. If you were to Google it, I don't have any association or sponsorship with this company, but it's literally amazing.
Again, listen, if you companies want to sponsor us for any of these things,
I would love to be sponsored by the Water Company. I would be their best person because let me tell you something. I get this machine, I set it up, I take the tap water, I pour it in this machine. It has these filters that are these crazy filters that last 10 years. You just take them out once a year and you clean them.
Wow.
Then you can put it back in. It's all glass. So we're not drinking plastics. And then the filters take out all of the chemicals that are in your water, all the heavy metals. If the world was to go sideways, I could take the water right out of the like a puddle and like put it in there and it would make it safe. It takes out the parasites even. So now that I have this new water and I'm drinking this great coffee and I'm adding my little spoonful of mushroom coffee to it, okay, and it's all chocolatey and delicious. Now that I'm using this water machine, I realized I was drinking hot chlorine from tap water. Like literally, this water tastes like nothing. It tastes like water should taste. It doesn't have a taste. It's my point that we've been drinking shitty water for so long that it has a taste.
Think about it, Dasani. I want to scan Dasani.
Dasani's so disgusting.
I want to scan it. Like I'm gonna find. I don't.
Dasani under a microscope looks like the dinosaurs are back alive. The parasites are.
But
huge.
you guys, and you could taste it. You could taste it.
It's so gross.
You could taste it, and if there's, I'm sorry, if you're one of those people that says that water doesn't have a taste or you can't tell the difference between certain water bottles, to get your taste buds checked out, because you can.
You totally can. If you take a sip of Evian water, just one sip, and then you put the cap on, leave it 5 minutes, you come back, and it tastes like pond scum. I don't know what goes on in that water. Yeah, but they just did this crazy study, and even like Pellegrino, like you think that's good? No, apparently they're all bad for you. So that's what I went down the rabbit hole about all these waters, and then there's like nothing. It's literally nothing. They're all gross. So I just $300 this thing is. That's it. That's it.
It's worth it. It's the investment.
I have clean water and my coffee tastes delicious. And I'm not drinking hot chlorine anymore.
You don't have chemicals being added into.
Chemicals being added, heavy metals, and I even feel like the water is being retained in my system and going where it needs to go. And it's not flushing out as fast as I would when I drink a water bottle. Which is
why people are so dehydrated, I feel like, too, all the time.
Because the water's not even getting
It's not even getting. So another thing, too, and I feel like it's so important, but a lot of people will say that I've noticed when I try to talk to people about this, they're like, okay, well, like, I guess I'll just stop eating everything. That's not true, too. So that's why it's like good to get, like, do a little bit of research, get apps, because there are ways that you can at least limit most of it. I know sometimes it might not be possible to hit like 100% in this world that we're living in right now, but just do your research, and
I also feel like everybody needs to start having a garden in their backyard and planting their own stuff. But then you have to buy the seeds from someone who's literally has like real seeds, not GMO seeds. But then literally, like, we need to start being self-sufficient here.
Yeah.
Like, we really need to start. Our grandparents, or mine anyway, like, they had gardens.
Mine did too.
You know what I mean? And like they cooked all their food.
They were so proud of their
and they lived forever, and nobody really got dementia. Like, you know what? And now all of a sudden, in the last few years,
because a lot of the food. So I'm gonna pull this app up one more time because I find it so interesting, and like it's so scary and it's so sad. So another one.
Big friends with a local farmer who's organic.
Here we go. I scanned something that everybody loves, Starburst. Well, not everybody, but I know a lot of people like candy. This got a 0 out of 100. Bad.
Starburst?
Starburst.
The dyes.
It's the dyes, the sugar, the saturated fat, but it had 9 additives that are bad for you. 4 of them which are hazardous. 4.
The shit that is legal in this country that they allow us to eat that other countries don't even allow to eat is deplorable and disgusting.
So some of the things believed to cause hypersensitivity and intolerance reactions, to cause neurotoxicity and learning and memory deficits, and to contribute to development of some cancers. There's just like these things that it's believed to cause allergic reactions, hives, eczema. Like if we really just started to take time to like think about what we're putting into our bodies, that could help with all these outer things that are happening.
Everybody needs to like get a tribe of people and become friends with them. And listen, if you're all gonna do gardens, like make a decision.
Yeah.
You're doing tomatoes, I'm doing cucumbers.
Can I do the hot peppers?
But
I love hot peppers.
We really need to start going back to that type of thought process. Like
I'll do the hot peppers.
Make friends with a local farmer that you know is not going to use pesticides. First of all, start supporting local.
Oh my God, start supporting local in every aspect.
Big corporations want to totally get rid of like farmlands, and I just feel like we should all be supporting them.
Yes.
Like you don't have to go to Wegmans and get a steak. There's like a guy in New Egypt that you can buy steak from.
Yeah. And there's so many
I'm saying that just from the fact that it's not far. Like they're literally within 15 miles of here. And if you Google how far it takes to get to Staten Island, it's 15 miles from here, which is wild, but okay. So I'm saying it's a decent range within 15 miles. There's at least 3 farms that are selling meat.
Absolutely. And we're so lucky
vegetables
to be here. Like, think about all the farms. You can go and get like the apple, everything. You could just...
The apples are also out a whole month early this year. I was just at Delicious Orchards yesterday.
Shout out to Delicious
Orchards. It was a hot summer.
Yeah, I was there on Sunday. I was doing a photo shoot, and we stopped at... That was one of the places we stopped at, and... Man, it's like popping there on Sundays.
I was there too. What time were you out there?
Like around, I want to say like 1:30ish.
Damn it, 2:30.
Yeah, we just missed each other. But I mean, it's awesome there. And like, again, supporting a local business, like just doing these things, getting outside, movement, we can all be living a lot longer and healthier lives.
A lot more vegetables.
So when we do this, we're going to start a garden. I'm going to do the hot peppers. What are you going to do? You probably already have a bunch of things already.
Oh, well, I already have basil.
Ooh.
I'm starting with my herbs. You start easy. You start.
And you can get those ones that...
snake plants are great. They're almost impossible to kill them. It's a great indoor plant for the winter.
Also, if you live in an apartment, they have these new things now, right? Where you can like plant things inside. They have those like, I don't know what
they even have grow lights. They're super cheap on Amazon.
Yeah.
So, not a shout out to Amazon. They're doing good by themselves. They're fine.
They're fine.
Jeff's okay.
But yeah, you don't like, even if you live in an apartment, like there are still, like you could still.
There are totally ways. The grow lights are super fun and cool, and you can like do cute little shelves. I've completely changed my algorithm. Like, I don't know, like 2 years ago, I was like losing my mind over like the world ending. And I realized that was before Mila. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I was just charging myself every morning with cortisol. I was like, that's it, we're done, folks. Like, what?
It's so yeah.
I don't check my phone in the morning anymore.
That's
like,
huge.
Literally, unless I have to. You know what I mean? But it's not really. But my whole algorithm is so different. I have like maybe 2 or 3 news people, but they're on my personal page, and then I just have animals. I have a bunch of animals. I'm learning how to
DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah,
DIY.
I'm into crafts. I already know that my husband knows on my Christmas list. I want a tool. Like I want a drill set.
That is so cool.
And I want a hot glue gun for arts and crafts.
So
Which,
cute.
by the way, I have been saving on Pinterest all these arts and crafty cool things that you could be using for your photography.
Let's do it.
Like, I will love to make them for you. Keep me busy during the winter.
Let's do it. Let's
go. Let's go. All right, we're doing it.
I love it. So I'm going to have Becca on again because, as you guys see, we have much to talk about. And there's just
covered so many things and solved in nothing.
But we do have a lot of, Becca, I feel like every time I talk to you, I'm like, wow, I learned something new every time I talk to Becca. So I can't wait to have her back on. But before we go, I like to ask my guests this question. And I got this from the Lewis Howes podcast. Have you ever listened to him? School Greatness, Lewis Howes?
No, but I will add to my little list.
Add to your list of podcasts. He's awesome. But he used to ask his guests at the end of the podcast, if today was your last day, and like say you know everything that you've ever posted, put out, everything was vanished. No one would remember anything about you but 3 things. What 3 things would you like them to take along or remember? And it could be advice. It could be just like, what are 3 things, lessons that you might like? What are 3 things that you would want to share with the world and have that be known?
My God, this is so serious. And 3 so much pressure. 3
I love when I do this because everyone's like,
yeah, because you can go in so many different directions. 3 things.
You could, but whatever comes to you.
Everything's always going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Even when it's not okay, it's still okay.
It is.
Because when it's not okay, that means it wasn't fucking meant for you, so move on.
Yes.
Stop sitting in like a pile of your shit and move on. It was not meant for you.
Yeah.
Think about sitting in a pile of shit. If you sit in it long enough, you don't even realize you smell. So keep it moving. Metaphorically and physically and mentally. Keep it moving. Literally, going. Always keep learning.
I love it.
Keep it moving. That's my second thing. What would my third thing be? Third thing, literally eat your vegetables. I'm going to go like mom on it. Eat your vegetables. Man, I know a lot of people don't like asparagus. It's really good for the kidneys. I know sometimes your pee smells. Nobody likes that.
I don't get asparagus pee.
No?
I get coffee pee.
Do you?
Not asparagus pee.
That's because you're dehydrated.
I know. Becca's going to help me with my vegetables and my new water system.
People that don't like stinky pea asparagus, just eat it before you go to bed. You pee once. That's it in the morning, and then you're done. You're not peeing a million times. Smell like asparagus.
There you go. There's a life hack.
Also, too, every time that you can't stand the smell, somebody told me this when I used to work in the gym. She goes, I love that one. My pee smells like asparagus. It's the smell of detoxification.
Oh.
And
it's a mindset shift.
Yeah, completely. I was like, yes, that's right.
Like where you're going there.
High five, kidneys.
Yeah.
Stop drinking alcohol. That's my fourth one.
So,
It's fucking gross.
Bonus one.
It's fucking gross. Your brain hates it. Your body hates it. It gives you anxiety. You can fight with every bottle and you're going to lose. Like, you can think that it's wine that doesn't like you and then you're going to switch to tequila. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I can't even handle 2 Surfsides anymore.
No way.
It's not worth it. I have too much going on.
Yeah.
I have no time to not feel good.
Listen, I know, and the next day is the worst.
It's gross.
And now at this point, it's the next, like, not even exaggerating.
I didn't
like
drink
3
all
days.
summer long because apparently we lived in the Amazon jungle. It was so hot. And because I was doing so many walks, I didn't want to get dehydrated. And I have to say, I don't miss it.
You don't miss it?
I tried missing it for like a hot flash.
You thought you were going to miss it.
For like the last 2 weeks. And I realized the last 3 times that I absolutely fucking hate it and I'm never drinking again. I'm finished for life.
All right. So that's Becca threw in a 4th bonus for everybody.
Yeah, drinking's gross.
And stay hydrated. But Becca, where can everybody connect with you? How can they find you?
I have a Instagram account. It's believe.pets, I think, right? Is that what it is?
I'm gonna also have it linked here while she's saying it, but
What is it?
she's pulling it up right now to give you the.
It is believe.pets. It is. I knew it.
You knew it. See, you know your page. Yeah. Be sure to follow Becca. She always, even if you're not local, she posts the cutest
post really silly
dogs.
videos.
Yeah.
Amanda did a better job.
No, you're doing great. And also sometimes she'll like post chickens and stuff like that. You get like you get different animals.
Come on, we are out here in Monmouth County. They have eclectic animals, so it's like
It's
sometimes
fun.
it's chickens, sometimes it's
Peacocks.
goats, sometimes it's peacocks. They scream like women that are being murdered. It's alarming when you first hear it. They're so beautiful, but their noise.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk in My Rooms. Becca, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to have you on again. And
I don't know if anybody understood what happened here, but
thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week on Real Talk in My Rooms.